The story begins with a shot of a small flower patch. Suddenly, someone's footsteps on the flowers and the entire area withers. A terrifying man appears, his face obscured. A black aura covers his head, revealing only a pair of blood-red eyes, and he is surrounded by evil energy. It's Jin Gang. Jin Gang stands tall before a massive fortress radiating a terrifying power. The soldiers on the fortress look down, their faces paling. One of them shouts, "The demon Jin Gang has appeared, quickly inform the Lord." Suddenly, a voice is transmitted directly into the soldier's mind. "The martial arts Lord commands," he says in surprise. Telepathy. The Lord stands pensively in a room. From this moment forward, all members of the Alliance launch a full-scale attack on Jin Gang. "I know this order is a death sentence for you all, but we have to stop that demon. Sacrifice your lives for future generations." "Yes, sir." All troops charge. "Our names will become martial arts ballots living for 1,000 years. No matter how demonic Jin Gang is, he's still just a man like us. If we combine our strength, we can kill him. Die, Jin Gang." With that, all the soldiers brandished their weapons and charged at Jin Gang. But he just stood there now, revealing a bit of his face, his hair almost completely covering it. Jin Gang unleashed a wave of evil energy. The nearby soldiers were hit instantly. They all died in an instant. A soldier who witnessed this was terrified. He assessed the situation. Second-rate masters and above. Even top-tier experts are here, and we can't even get close to him. Moreover, for some reason, after each kill, he gets stronger. In the leader's room, a man spoke up. "Leader, we must order a retreat." According to the investigation team, Jin Gang made a pact with a demon. According to this pact, the souls Jin Gang kills will become sacrificial offerings, in exchange for which Jin Gang will receive the power to use the demon's abilities. That means the more Alliance members he kills, the stronger he becomes. After hearing his subordinate's words, the leader was not afraid, but coldly replied, "I order the entire martial arts world to fight. Why are you still here like a bunch of cowards?" The man facing his leader was anxious. He kept wanting the leader to reconsider. "Leader, why do not you understand our intentions? At this rate, our entire army will become sacrifices for the demon, and in the worst case, using Jin Gang's body, the top-ranked demon could descend upon the human world. You do not know that even the heavenly demon can't stop the top-ranked demon. Please order a retreat." Saying this, the man's face was covered in cold sweat. He insisted on retreating to ensure safety. The leader, who had been deep in thought, now revealed a sinister smile. "Then this is difficult. A feast must be abundant. When a distinguished guest is about to arrive, how can we allow the food to be scarce?" The leader's face suddenly became strange, startling the man who asked your intentions. At this point, the leader no longer concealed anything, gradually revealing his true form. As he spoke, his mouth began to gape open, and a blue creature slowly emerged from within. "Do you know how much effort I had to expend? It took me 500 years, just to find a human body to be a vessel for Lord R. A. Shat, and to force that body to make a pact with Lord R. A. Shat. I destroyed his entire family, leaving only hatred and resentment," he said as the creature gradually emerged. Finally, the leader completely transformed into a blue dragon with blood-red eyes. It said with satisfaction, "So that body will kill incessantly to contain Lord R. A. Shat, a dragon. What have you done to our leader?" The three men, seeing the dragon, were immediately frightened, but quickly adopted a defensive stance. The cunning dragon bared its sharp teeth, its eyes bulging and blood-red. "Look at these rebellious scum." It looked at the people in front of it and spat out a blue liquid that melted them. The air suddenly became quiet. The three men from before had vanished, leaving only the acidic liquid spat out by the dragon. He stands there sullenly. "The Lord you followed for decades. It's been me, a dragon from the start. Even in hell, it's hard to find such vast and deep demonic energy that knows no end. And the third eye that only appears when fully descended. It's Lord Rosetsu." Recognizing its master, the dragon trembled and immediately bowed respectfully. The evil dragon suddenly became a timid creature. It said, trembling, "I am your loyal servant, Lord Rosetsu. I will serve you. Please use me as your hands and feet to accomplish the great task you are about to complete. I will do everything you command." After hearing the dragon, Jin Gang spoke in a hoarse voice. "You say everything then, D." With that, Jin Gang raised the sword in his hand. The dragon was horrified, not understanding why its master was treating it this way. "Lord Rakshasa, why?" Jin Gang was no longer himself. He was desperate. Tears began to flow after a long time of fighting. "My wife and daughter and all the members of my family, I have lost everything. I sold my soul to a demon, all just to kill you. Why do you still," the dragon exclaimed in shock, "carry the soul of a mortal?" But as soon as the question was finished, its life ended. Having finished off his enemy, Jin Gang sighed in relief. Finally, it's over. The past flashed before him. The days he endured suffering, he wept for the death of his family, everything he had. From then on, Jin Gang's hatred began ablaze until now when he has avenged the one who killed his family. Jin Gang looked at the rising dawn and wearily said, "It's all over." But immediately, everything turned dark again when Jin Gang heard a voice echoing in his mind. "Congratulations on your revenge." It was the voice of Rakshasa. He wickedly said, "Using a soul-binding spell on yourself to buy more time was ingenious. But now, it's time for you to offer your body as agreed in the contract. Willingly offer yourself to you, Omi," he commanded, "and enjoy the happiness of becoming part of the Supreme Being." But Jin Gang had no intention of doing that. He slowly replied, "That happiness, give it to the dogs. You think ill, let you go back to the human world." Each of his words was filled with hatred for the one inside him. He held the sword up close to the third eye on his forehead. Seeing this, Lisette suddenly changed his tone. "What are you doing? You've taken so many lives. You think you can live happily in the next life. You will suffer an eternal hellfire. No, that's still not enough. Your soul may be destroyed by King Yama himself. Nothingness is what awaits you." Lissette's threats could not touch Jin Gang. He did not care what Lasset said. Jin Gang gave a slight smile. "Really? Those words make me so happy." After saying that, he plunged the sword straight into his head. Jin Gang's soul has left his body. He chose suicide. That soul that just left is a Rakshasa. Do you think I would let go of such a precious body that I worked so hard to find? By any means necessary, I will make sure you are reborn, and I will find you again for hundreds, even thousands of years as long as your soul exists. The contract remains in effect. A woman stands amidst a raging fire, her eyes filled with worry. Facing her is her husband looking at her with panic and fear. Another man in the flickering flames like a wild beast raises a sharp blade. The scene pulls back. The woman just stands there silently cradling a newborn baby. The son witnesses his wife about to be murdered and immediately screams, but everything before him is just blood splattering on his face. The man has brutally murdered his wife. Unable to hold back his tears, he screams in despair. That man approached you with overwhelming force, coldly raising his foot, and he stomped your head into the cold ground. Losing your wife, your child, everything you resented it, your tears gradually turning to blood. You bitterly resented and blamed yourself. All of this, everything is your fault, because you're weak. Suddenly, the scene changes. The man is tightly closing his eyes, his face covered in sweat. A voice calls out, "Eugene." He slowly opens his eyes after hearing someone call his name. A woman's hand rests on his cheek, caressing him with worry concern. "Are you okay? You're sweating and panting." "Another nightmare," Eugene gently told the woman in front of him. "I keep having the same dream lately. I must be too tired." The woman looked at Eugene and softly called him, "Eugene, you really quit your job. Right, the job you're doing. I did not want to see you get hurt or hurt anyone else." And suddenly a phone rang. Dojin answered the phone. "This is me, boss, the Ho Young Gang. I understand. I am on my way." Seeing him about to leave, she sat up wondering, "You're going out now?" Dojin did not explain much, just left her with one sentence. "Something urgent came up, and once this is done, I am quitting for good. I won't live like a monster anymore." Scene changed to a deserted house at the docks. Inside the house, a man with a cigarette says, "Wise choice. These days, war is not worth it anymore. It hurts families, involves the police. It is not in there. The worst part is your faces, all over social media." That man is Gu Tae-sung, boss of the Tae-sung gang. Tae-sung continues, "That is why I am making this offer. Let us settle this with a fight." Facing him, another man replies with a fierce look, "Fine." The loser gives up control of the docks. That man is Choi Ho-hyung, boss of the Ho-hyung gang. Ho-hyung looks at the arrogant Tae-sung in front of him and can't help but ask, "You are putting your faith in that so-called monster. We're just bringing in a super strong rookie." Tae-sung does not pay attention, gesturing for the person behind him to step forward. Tae-sung teases Ho-hyung, "Looks like you lured some decent Jim rat into being a thug." Then he turns to ask his subordinate who is about to fight, "Do-jin, you think you can handle him? He looks pretty tough." Do-jin rolls up his sleeves, revealing his muscular arms and replies, "No problem, sir. It does not matter who at island." Do-jin's appearance immediately became the focus, and everyone on the opposing side started whispering about him. "Is that Tae-sung's monster? He looks younger than I thought. I heard he single-handedly sent 10 guys from Baekgam to the hospital." Do-jin's rival rookie heard everyone talking and immediately became fired up, ready to fight him, muttering, "Tae-sung's monster, how pathetic. I have to admit, these hooligans are top-notch liars," he said as he rushed forward and punched Do-jin directly. "In the end, they're just street trash fighting in alleys. Even though I am down on my luck, I used to be a professional ranker." Do-jin, constantly getting punched by his opponent, could only block. He mocked Do-jin while punching him. "If I weren't in debt, I'd never fight a moron like you. Just as I thought, nothing special. You're going down." And then he landed a punch on Do-jin's right side. He keeps grabbing his head, kneeling him right in it. Do-jin endures it, eyes wide. "It's over," the rookie arrogantly declares, locking Do-jin's neck. "I've got you completely locked up. What a freak. If you're free, come to my gym. I'll teach you from scratch. Dojin just slightly smirks in response to what the rookie said. I am very grateful, but I hate gym floors. The mats always stink of sweaty feet and they're too soft, he says, then takes momentum and springs back. Dojin slams the rookie's head into the ground, his face contorting in pain. He's already down. He realized he had completely underestimated his opponent. His mind went blank. He only knew he had to defend. Then Dojin punched the rookie in the groin. He did not expect that. His face contorted, his pupils disappeared, his mouth puckered and snot sprayed out. Dojin continued to grab his hair repeatedly, slamming his head into the ground. Taesong watched with glee. I see how it island. What the hell? Even Boss Ho Young was surprised. Suddenly, someone shouts, "Hey, that so-called pro-ranker you brought is getting his ass kicked." Seeing this, Ho Young's underling says, "Boss, maybe we should wait a little longer." But before he can finish, Ho Young calmly interrupts. "It's over, you idiot. You think we shaved our heads for fashion. In a real fight, forget about full mounts or anything else. Once it gets to this point, the fight's as good as over. The rookie is getting beaten to a pulp. He is angry but can't do anything." Dojin, victorious, mocked what the rookie said earlier. Are you a girl, or something with hair that long? In his mind, the rookie can only think, what the hell? I can't do anything. I was going to back away but he closed in. I was going to tackle him, but he used his weight to crush me. Dojin drags the rookie across the ground, then he knees the rookie right in the face. Dojin keeps kicking him in the face. The rookie's hair is a mess. His face is covered in blood, and he is lying there looking faint. Dojin did not stop there. He raised his fist again, ready to give the rookie another beating. The rookie realized he was about to be hit again. He said softly, "Wait," which made Dojin pause slightly. Dojin remembered what his wife said before he left. "I don't want to see you get hurt or hurt anyone else." He lowered his hand. Just before the rookie could finish, Dojin landed a decisive blow to his head, his hair falling down. "It's over," Dojin declared. Witnessing Dojin's fight, Taesub claps and cheers. "Good job, Dojin. Well then, Mr. Choi, from now on, the port is under Taesung's control." Dojin wipes the blood from his face, relieved. "It is over. From now on, I won't hurt anyone anymore. I will live a normal life." Suddenly, a strange voice comes out. "Hey," but Do does not notice it. "Hey." This time, the voice is clearer. Dojin gradually recognizes it. Rebirth of Kim Kang. Dojin is startled when he hears those words. But Ho Young suddenly stomps on the head of the soldier, who has fallen to the ground, and says fiercely over what he is still breathing. "If you're in the mob, you have to beat him to death. We do not do things halfway like that. You won't get away that easily. If you do not kill this guy, your side won't get the port. Think carefully. Get it, you monster." Ho Young provokes Dojin, but Dojin remains silent, his face gradually darkening. "What are you doing?" Seeing Dojin ignore him, Ho Young gets angry. "Answer when someone speaks to you." He continues to raise his voice at Dojin. "You bastard, you dare ignore me." Unable to contain himself, Ho Young pulls out a knife from his jacket. He threatens Dojin, "How about I got you right here? The only reason my guys aren't answering is because you're talking nonsense, Mr. Choi." Suddenly, Ho Young is surrounded by all of Taesung's men, all glaring menacingly, holding sharp knives in their hands. Taesung hold a knife to Ho Young's face, warning him, "Don't humiliate yourself any further. Let's end this like gentlemen." Ho Young, not want to back down, laughed it off, ignoring Taesung's warning. "Mr. My ass, you expect me to go easy when this bastard provokes me?" Taesung immediately retorted, "I am pretty sure you were the one provoking him, CHOI. Then turned to Dojin jokingly, "Isn't that right, Eugene?" Dojin, who had been silent until now, suddenly spoke up. "Guys, don't you see that?" "See what?" Taesung, not understanding, looked at Dojin. Dojin, unable to take his eyes off the creature he saw before him, stammered, "Right here. This blue flame." Taesung looked at Dojin suspiciously. "Blue, what now?" Dojin was lost in thought, thinking he was hallucinating, but what was before him was too real. "What is this?" "It suddenly appeared before me, and then I couldn't move my body. It's like sleep paralysis. Reincarnation of Gugang." The flame spoke. "It's time to fulfill the covenant." After saying that, it immediately went into Dojin's mouth. Dojin collapsed and groaned. Taesung, worried, asked, "What's wrong? What happened to you suddenly?" Dojin looked down at his trembling hand and said, "The flame is inside me." Suddenly, his eyes flashed. The past comes to light. Dogen is now sitting before the corpses of his entire family. Dogen embraces his wife's cold cheek, painfully uttering each word, blaming himself. "He said it right. It's all my fault, because I was too weak. I am sorry I couldn't protect you. Do you want revenge?" A mysterious voice suddenly echoes. "Then I will give you power. That is the blue flame from earlier. Make a contract with me and offer a sacrifice." It seems it is not the first time Dojin has seen it. He spoke dejectedly to the blue flame. "You've been appearing like a ghost lately. Is this what you want? Fine." He clenched his fist. "I will offer you a sacrifice. There's no shortage of people I want to kill. I will make a pact. Dojin shed tears of blood, agreeing to the blue flame's condition with utter resentment. Give me your power. The blue flame, having achieved what it wanted, began to sow words like a curse upon Dojin. Then remember this from now on. Even if your body decays and vanishes, as long as your soul exists, this pact will be in effect eternally, and you are forever my servant. From now on, you're no longer human. You have become a demon. Dojin was engulfed in blue flames, and he screamed in pain. The blue flames gradually swallowed him, and it said, "The contract is complete. From now on, anything that dies by your hand, from the smallest insect to the king of a country, even gods, all will become sacrifices for me. In exchange for those sacrifices, I will give you the power of a demon lord that frightens all living things in the world. My power. But remember this, when my power exceeds the limits of your body, you will become a sacrifice." Dojin suddenly felt like he escaped death, panting as he looked up at the ceiling, sweat pouring down. He stared blankly at his body, not understanding what just happened. What was that just now? What? What did I just see? I am sure my body was just burning. Suddenly, Ho Young's voice rang out, interrupting Dojin's thoughts. What the hell are you doing? He sneered at Dojin, randomly screaming and writhing like a madman. Are you really crazy? Right after saying that, Dojin grabbed Ho Young's hand and pulled him. He was much taller than Ho Young, immediately overpowering him with his forceful presence, his voice steely. Do you want to check for yourself? See if I am crazy. Ho Young, who had been smirking, was now sweating. He was a little scared, but still spoke loudly. You little brat, charging in here without any fear. Should we have a showdown today between the Taesung gang and the Ho Young gang? Dojin did not say another word. He just stared at Ho Young with eyes like bullets. Suddenly, the sound of a car. Ho Young wondered the police. A third person's hand intervened between Dojin and Ho Young. It seems the bell signaling the end of this fight has rung. That is too bad, but let us stop here for today, Mr. Choi. We will schedule another meeting soon. Taesung smiled gently as he spoke to Ho Young. Ho Young felt humiliated, cursed in anger, shit, and struggled to get out of Dojin's grip. Before leaving, he turned back to remind us, okay, well, definitely meet again soon. This time with the port management rights. Your lives are on the line too. After saying that, Ho Young's gang all turned and left. Once they were gone, Dojin quietly spoke up. I am sorry. Because of me. But before Dojin could finish, Taesung quickly cut in. It's okay. They were going to find an excuse to start something anyway. More importantly, what was that just now? You look like you saw something. Taesung suspiciously asked Dojin, but at this moment, Dojin was confused, not understanding what that feeling was just now, and could only dismiss it. It's nothing. Maybe I am just a little tired lately. I've been having strange dreams too. Scene changes to Hokar driving away. Ho Young is looking at his hand, which is swollen and bruised from Dojin. He could not help but wonder, what the hell is that guy's power? Suddenly, his phone rang. Ho Young answered, hello? The person on the other end, hearing Ho Young's voice, said, ah, Mr. Kui. But Ho Young cut him off. Don't worry about the port authority. We'll have control soon. The other person seemed to understand what Ho Young was implying and said jokingly, is that so? But if you do not have the port right now, you can't meet the delivery quota, can you? If this continues, it'll be difficult for us to do business with you. Hearing this, Ho Young began to worry, and he anxiously pleaded with the person on the other end. No, I'll find a way to meet them. Please give me a little more time. I've always done everything you've asked of me. Please give me some more time. Seeing that Ho Young took the bait, the man calmly made a condition. All right, then I'll wait a little longer until dawn today. Take the harbor before then. If you're late again, I'll change suppliers. After saying that, he hung up without letting Ho Young say anything. That damn monster. Ho Young cursed the man in his mind, but he did not dare delay. Ho Young asked his subordinate, Hey, what time does the sun rise today? The subordinate mumbled, I am not sure. Around 6 a.m. maybe. Ho Young lit a cigarette and ordered his subordinate, check the exact time. We have to wipe out the Taesung gang right now. We have to erase Taesung's number right now. Otherwise, we are all dead. Cut to Du Din's apartment. Du Din enters the house looking for his wife. Ju, I'm home. Is she sleeping? Suddenly, Du Din's expression darkens as he looks down. Beneath his feet are a series of dirty footprints. Du Din's eyes fill with anger, his brow furrowing. From inside the house, a stranger rushes out with a weapon to attack him, but Du Din notices and dodges the blow immediately. Du Din slams his head against the wall with his elbow, then he kicks him in the stomach. The man groans. Not stopping there, Du Din raises his fist menacingly, then he punches him straight in the face. He ruthlessly pokes 2 fingers into the man's eyes, threatening, answer me now if you don't want Tio go blind. Where is the woman? Clapping is heard. You took down a pretty good fighter in the blink of an eye, just like the rumors say. I am Gil Tai-sik, head of security for Bang Ho Hun. I apologize for taking your loved ones hostage like some street thug. These are my orders and I can't disobey them. Seeing his wife in the enemy's hands, Dudin flew into a rage. "I'll kill you." "Ill," but before Dudin could finish, the man cut him off. "Don't waste emotions between professionals. You understand the situation." Dudin seemed to understand his intention. "Alright, what do you want? My Achilles tendon or my wrist? I'll give you anything you want. Just take it and get out." Ignoring what Dudin said, he replied, "Usually that would be enough, but not today. Our boss has decided," he said, pulling out his knife to wipe out the Te Sung gang. Then he lunged forward, stabbing Dudin in the stomach. Dudin blocked the knife with his bare hand, blood soaking his clothes. "Alright, I understand, but promise me, you'll spare her." Tae-suk, hearing Dudin's words, agreed to the condition. "I promise I won't kill her." Dua looked helplessly at Dudin in front of her, tears streaming down her face. Dua, crying in despair, trying to say his last words to her. "I am sorry, Jua. It wasn't enough that I made you worry every day. Now I am making you witness this." Dua looks at her husband in anguish. Before preparing to end his own life, Din thinks to himself, "I just wanted To live a normal life. But perhaps this is the end. At least the one who dies isn't her. This is different from that dream, luckily." But before he could finish thinking, Din was stabbed to death by the enemy. He drops to his knees, collapsing on the spot with a dagger in his shoulder. TSOC says to his men, "Leave the cleanup to the janitors and return to the boss side immediately. We have to finish before sunrise." The guy holding Du, they asked, "What should we do with her boss?" Tae-suk did not even turn around. And as if it were obvious, he replied, "Do you even need To ask? Take her with us. We can't leave any witnesses." Then he turned to look at Dujan on the ground. "You're a professional, so you understand, right? I promise I won't kill her. But I never said I'd let her go." It was immediately dragged away, struggling to call out to Dujan. Another henchman behind her mocked, "Wow, she's struggling like crazy. Think positively. Well, take good care of you. Hey." As soon as he finished speaking, he was startled. "Huh is sound." Din was not dead yet, and he used his strength to stab the man in the thigh. He struggled to grip the knife, trying to hold the enemy's back longer. The stabbed man cursed in pain, "Son of a bitch. You should have just died quietly." He tried to pull the knife from his thigh. Tae-suk realized something and immediately stopped him. "Don't pull it out." But the man was faster, pulling the knife out before he could hear Tae-suk, and blood spurted out. At the same time, Dudin fell face down. Tae-suk was amazed, praising Dudin. "I have to admit, they hit an artery while barely conscious. You truly deserve to be called a devil." TC can't stall any longer. He puts the knife to Din's neck now. "Go to hell," and slashes his neck, completing the mission. TSC quickly leaves. "Let's go. We've wasted too much time already." His subordinate speaks up. "Yes, but what about Yokun?" TSC coldly replies, "If his femoral artery is cut, he'll die in less than 2 minutes anyway. Make sure the cleaners take care of him too," then leaves. Then lies coldly on the floor. TCS, subordinate, seems to hear. TSCS, henchmen seem to hear something. Terrified, he tried to see what it was, tears starting to fall. This time the voice was clear, that was fast. At this point, he seemed to see the source of the sound. He trembled. "What is it?" "A sacrifice," it said. From the ceiling, a grotesque blood-red object appeared, and dozens of evil spirits crawled out of the hole and flew down. The evil spirits swarmed around the man and seemed to suck him up. Meanwhile, outside Din's apartment, TC was reporting. "Roger, boss. The job is done." Suddenly, something caught his eye. A dark figure stood in front of Tae-suk's car. The driver spoke up. "What was that?" It sounded like something fell from up there. Tae-suk ordered, "Turn on the lights." The driver obeyed. "Yes, sir." As soon as the lights came on, a man holding a knife stood blocking Tae-suk's car. "What? You?" Tae-suk was horrified. "Could it be you? Or really a demon?" The man said nothing. The muscles in his neck were writhing, as if trying to fuse back together. In the space, the voice from before echoed again. "You have offered a sacrifice according to the pact. I will grant you my power." At this moment, Dudin revealed himself, but he looked like a monster as he transformed. Cut to Taro Bar Hex. At the bar, the female bartender asked the man sitting in front of her, "Long time in Ok." The man, Tae Sung, playfully teases the bartender. "Why is it always empty whenever I come here? I am surprised this place is still running." The girl holding a bottle of liquor smiles wryly and replies, "Thanks to customers like you, boss. People who believe in tarot cards." Hearing her answer, Tae Sung mocks himself. "Sounds like you're calling me a gullible idiot, still believing in superstition at my age." As she pours him a drink, she says, "Never. You're a valuable regular." Tae Sung ponders, sipping his drink and praising the bartender. "But it's really strange. I only did it for fun at first, but you never get the reading wrong." The girl, seemingly pleased with his words, gently replies, "And the cards you draw are always good ones, right?" But she also praises herself. "It just means you happen to meet a tarot reader with Excellent skills purely by luck. Tae-sung lights a cigarette, interrupting her. Like the placebo effect. You're just blaming it on fortune-telling. No wonder you don't have any customers. As if you would hurt her pride, she pulls out a deck of cards and puts it on the table, taunting him. Fortune-telling is only meaningful when it's just for fun. Long time no see. Why don't you pick a card and see? Tae-sung calmly chooses a card. This one and this one and this one too. The girl calmly watches him choose the cards. Seeming like it is the first time he has seen that side of her, he can't help but ask, "What's with that look?" At this moment, the girl begins to explain each card, pointing to the first one. This card represents the past. It means victory, and this card is the present. She points to the second card. It means you have always been victorious, and you are currently very content, and this card is the future. She picks up the third card and says, "It means change." In other words, because of your glorious past, you will undergo a very big change in the future. Hearing this, Tae-sung was curious. Change? I thought it was something serious. The girl continued to explain, this tower card actually has two meanings, change or destruction. Seeing Tae-sung's darkened expression, the girl quickly changed the subject. But since we're just doing this for fun, Tae-sung, do not take it too seriously. Just then, a man's shadow appeared behind them. Go Tae-sung. He called out his full name. Tae-sung turned around, his face dark with annoyance. You're sitting there sipping wine so leisurely, the man said, holding a knife. Didn't you know? Today was your death day? So that guy's Ho-han. He came at Tae-sung to kill you. Tae-sung's face was no longer as gentle as before. He mocked, you guys are really diligent, even working overtime. Ho-han looked at Tae-sung's appearance, clearly annoyed. This arrogant bastard is still pretending until the very end. Then he ordered his men to attack. Kill him for me. Tae-sung threw a glass of wine at one of them. He quickly restrained him, grabbed the knife handle, and punched him in the face. Tae-sung snatched the knife. Then with quick movements, he stabbed the guy who was trying to attack from behind. Tae-sung runs, followed by Ho-hoon's command. Don't let him escape. We have to end this before sunrise. Hunt him down and kill him. One of Ho-hoon's underlings, cursing as he searches for Tae-sung, opens a door. Damn it, that bastard is as quick as a rat. As he finishes speaking, Tae-sung, filled with murderous intent, prepares to kill him. Tae-sung pushes the door, blocking his knife hand. The man can't do anything. Tae-sung mercilessly stabs him in the neck. Just then, the others came in. He was immediately killed by Tae-sung. He used to be a swordsman, so you know, right? Tae-sung's deep voice rang out. You know very well what the situation means. Do not you? He choked one of them, and warned Ho-hun. That bastard, the right corner. Ho-hun growled angrily. Tae-sung began to explain. That is right. Every swordsman hates this position. In a narrow right corner, the attacker's right arm will be blocked by the wall, but the defender can swing their sword freely. Of course, there's a way to overcome that. You just need to send someone who attacks with their left hand and is stronger than the defender. It is not that a coincidence. You're using your left hand again, Choi Ho-young. No need to waste loyal subordinates. Go get him, Choi Ho-young. Scene changes to in front of Dudin's apartment. The man in the car look at Dudin in panic. What the hell? Are you really a demon? Tae-sung could not believe his eyes and ordered his men, run him over. Hearing that, his men were dumbfounded. Tae-sung, furious, yelled, I said run him over. The car immediately sped off straight into Dudin. Not only did Dudin survive, but he used the knife handle to smash the car window. Dudin jumped right onto the roof. The people inside were startled. Then one of them got punched in the face by Dudin. Dudin smashed the window and jumped inside. You bastard. One of them barely finished the sentence before getting slashed in the neck. Blood spurted from his neck. With overwhelming power, Dudin, like a crazed beast, killed him. Dudin grabbed the front seat, then jumped to the back. A man with a knife fearfully waved his hand in panic. Back away. Don't come any closer, any further. But he was killed right after that. TSO sitting next to him was pale as a ghost, staring at the scene before him. Dudin said in a cold, murderous voice, You don't even have a chopping, AXC. So you want to split my skull open with a kitchen knife? TSOC looked at Dudin and said, You crazy bastard. Then noticed headlights speeding towards his car. He quickly curled up into a defensive position. Another car slammed into the right side of Tsok's car, sending Dudin flying. He rolled several times on the ground, then lay sprawled in a corner. Tsok then crawled out of the car. He watched Dudin slowly get to his feet. He said, Yeah, it would be pathetic to die because of guys like these right now. Come on. He declared war on Dudin. Dudin immediately turned around, charging forward like a monster. Dudin slashed, but Tae-sung ducked to avoid the blow. He thought his movements are very strong. He might be a monster, but if he has lost his reason, I have a chance. But Dudin quickly shattered Tae-sung's thoughts with a kick. Tae-S-O-C took the hit, his whole body contorting. Tae-S-O-C staggered back from the kick. Dudin wasted no time preparing to stab Tae-sok with his broken knife. But Tae-sok blocked Dudin's strike with his right hand. It flashed through his mind, thinking of his next move. Now's my chance. His left side is open. Tae-sok thrust his knife straight towards Dudin's neck. Unexpectedly, Dudin stabbed him in the wrist with his broken knife, then sliced a deep gash all the way up to his bicep. Tate, SOC screamed in pain. Being a professional, he quickly regained his composure, using his knife to block Dudin's. Now Hez starting to fear Dudin. I clearly saw the knife was in his right hand, but from the beginning, it was all just a trap. Dudin knows the fight is almost over. He is saving Tae-sok's life to interrogate him about his wife. What happened? That woman. I offered her as a sacrifice. A sacrifice? What the hell are you talking about? Don't play dumb. You came back to life after being beheaded. You're just like that bastard. The one who told us to offer sacrifices. That damn demon. Scene cuts back to Tarobar Hex. Two of Ho-han's subordinates are standing guard outside. One is smoking and the other asks, should we go inside? How long is Gute-san gonna take? The other calmly replies, we were ordered to guard the door. Just do our job. There are more than 10 guys in there. What is the worry? I guess. As he is speaking, a complete stranger suddenly approaches them. A gatekeeper stopped him. Hey, stop right there. We're closed today. Please go away. He did not seem afraid, replying to the gatekeeper, I have to go in. I have an appointment, which made the gatekeeper annoyed. What? Are you deaf? I said we're closed today. The other one nonchalantly did not care to send him away. Don't cause trouble. Just as he shouted, what kind of appointment at this hour? The gatekeeper suddenly stopped. Heck, what's wrong with you? The guy next to him realized something dangerous, scared. For some unknown reason, a branch sprouted from the mouth of the one who had just shouted. That branch quickly grew into a small tree on his body. What? Witnessing the scene unfolding, the smoking guy no longer felt like it. That man spoke again. I told you I have an appointment. We agreed to meet at dawn at Tarobar Hex. Meanwhile, inside where Ho-han and Tae-sung are fighting, it has become a bloody battlefield with corpses strewn across the room. A footstep approaches. Ho-han's underling tremblingly advances towards Tae-sung with a knife. His hand shakes uncontrollably. He musters all his strength and swings a surprise blow to eliminate Tae-sung. I bet Choi told you to go because you're left-handed. But Tae-sung knew he was coming and would do that. Too bad. Tae-sung had already taken his stance. Then he killed him with one stab. After fighting for a while, Tae-sung got tired and impatient. How many more underlings are you going to send? You know this won't end like this. Don't be afraid. Come up yourself. Ho-han heard Tae-sung's tone. He was not in a hurry, like he was waiting for something. Boss, I brought it. One of his underlings ran up. Seeing that, Ho-han immediately ordered. A barrel of oil was poured out. Smells like kerosene. Tae-sung recognized it right away. Keep hiding. Now Ho-han arrogantly speaks up. I'm gonna roast you alive. Suddenly, someone starts singing, the sun has risen, causing Ho-han to stop. Wake up, the song continues. Brush your upper teeth. Brush your lower teeth. How could you? Ho-han's face turns pale, as if he has seen something terrifying. What else we promised, did not we? Well, meet at sunrise. That strange man with a big bouquet of flowers just went inside. Ho-han was scared and frantically lit his lighter. Ah yes, we're almost done. Once we take over the dock, that target you mentioned. But before Ho-han could finish, the man interrupted. Here, take these flowers. Ho-han was too scared to speak. He could only stare at the bouquet. As if saying goodbye, he smiled kindly and said, You've worked very hard, Mr. Choi. Now you can retire. At that moment, Dudin seemed to realize something about his terrifying power. A demon. Are you kidding me? Dudin's clueless look made Tae-suk scoff. Don't tell me. You really don't know? You don't even know who you are. You are a human hunter. A demon that bites and devours flesh and blood and human souls. After using all his remaining strength, Tae-suk shouted at Dudin, his eyes bloodshot. Dudin stared at him in shock. Something was moving where you were stabbing Tae-suk in the chest. A branch sprouted from Tae-suk's stab wound and quickly reached out. Tae-suk, knowing he was about to die, told Duke Din about his past and the Ho-han gang. A few years ago, that bastard came to me and made a deal. He said if I transported people, he would let me live. He made me secretly plant these damn seeds into my gang, but our boss agreed like a fool. It has come to this. If you want to meet him, go to Gute-sung. He will make you a similar offer. Then Squirrel turned into a tree growing bright red leaves. Meanwhile, on Tae-sung's side, the mysterious man from before seemed to have finished his work. He picked a flower and smelled it. Don't take it too hard. The day you met me, you probably would have died. But you gotta live another 5 years. You owe it all to me. Now that I've seen off my predecessor, why do not we talk business? Then he looked at Tae-sung, who was rooted to the spot, and softly called out, New partner. Tae-sung was shocked. Who are you? He slowly approached Tae-sung. Demon, evil spirit, devil, monster, Rakshasa. Every country has a different name for me. In this country, people usually call me a devil. Don't worry too much. I am just here to make a deal. Tae-sung was doubtful. A deal? The man replied, yes. Then he explained the job. I will introduce you to my partners in North Korea and China. You just need to use the port you control to bring in illegal immigrants. Tae-sung calmly looked at the man in front of him without showing any emotion. This is more reasonable than I thought. I thought you were going to ask me to sell my soul. Seeing that, the man continued to explain, also praising Tae-sung and adding a condition. We also have our own circumstances. We can't just go around eating people. Partners like you are very valuable. You can keep all the profits from doing business for the Tae-sang gang. Just pick out a few good-looking ones from the immigrants. And he held out his hand. Send me 10 a week. Tae-sung asked him, if I can't meet the quota or refuse, will I end up like this Choi guy? The man did not deny it. That is right. But you will live longer than him. You're more capable and intelligent. Without hesitation, Tae-sung immediately refused. I am sorry, but there are 3 things I will never sell. First is, before he finished speaking, Tae-sung chopped off the strange man's fingers, then slashed his neck, finishing humanity. Wild-sung turned around and slashed his ankle. The second is, he continued, drugs. Then he took the knife and aimed it at that guy's head. He raised a knife, looking straight at his head, ready to stab. Third, but before he finished, a carnivorous plant grew out the back of that guy's head and bit off Tae-sung's right arm. That guy did not panic at all. He bit off his arm. I take back what I said about you being smart, but actually, that makes me like you even more. He seemed interested in Tae-sung. It's been a long time since I met someone who isn't afraid of me. I'll give you another chance. At this moment, 4 more carnivorous flowers had grown out of the back of his head. They were like starving monsters bearing their ferocious fangs, ready to tear their prey apart. Swallow this seed, he ordered. Then I will not only forgive your rudeness, but even restore that pitiful right arm of yours. Tae-sung, in pain, gave a twisted smile. The man, intrigued, asked, what are you laughing at? Tae-sung replied, I just find it funny. That Choi guy can be useful sometimes. So Tae-sung had planned to burn this place down from the start. He threw the lighter to the ground. The fire immediately caught the oil and flared up. I am not finished. You go on. The third thing I will never sell is myself. I will never live like a coward. The demon laughs. He clutches his face, laughing harder. That is hilarious. Are you serious? You are such an idiot, he mocks Tae-sung. I mean, you won't die from a little fire like this. You said you would never live like a coward. He snorts. That just makes me more curious. After saying that, he hugs Tae-sung tightly. I want to see your pathetic expression, Tae-sung. The two are immediately engulfed in flames. He whispered to you, did you know when people are burned at the stake, they don't actually die from the fire but from smoke inhalation, which means as long as you're breathing, he said. Using his power, one of his carnivorous plants opened its mouth, and something like a suction cup reached out from inside. The monster suction cup slammed onto your face, sealing off Tae-sung's airway. The man still held Tae-sung tightly, speaking into his ear. You're going to suffer for a very, very long time before you die, and the burning pain comes in waves, so it won't be easy to faint. The man gave a sinister smile. You'll feel yourself being roasted, while completely conscious. I am really looking forward to seeing your face writhing and begging for death. Is that you? A voice suddenly rang out. That person grabbed the fire extinguisher. Are you a monster or what? It turned out that Dujin had arrived in time to meet Tae-suk, the guy from earlier. Dujin immediately sprays Taeseon with a fire extinguisher. Then he uses it as a weapon and runs towards him. He slams it right into the demon's face. He punches him again, then a flurry of punches. Where is she? Dujin asked furiously. The woman you used as a sacrifice. Why do you want to know? Annoyed of being interrupted by Dujin, the demon asked back after severing one of Dujin's arms. He said impatiently, you're going to die anyway. But Dujin stubbornly lunged and bit his hand. Dujin's eyes blazing with green fire. What the hell? The demon now realized Dujin was not human. So you've been one of them all along, but you don't look like one. You want to steal my sacrifice. This is why all you monsters are useless these days. You're so weak you can't even tell if your opponent is stronger than you. The demon scorned Dujin. Don't live in shame any longer and die. Just as he was about to finish off Dujin, a green light emanated from his pocket and something in his pants wriggled. The demon is surprised, pulling something out his pants. The bead is resonating. His eyes widen. That means near this bead, there's a path to hell. Interesting. He happily raises the bead above his head, then punches Dujin hard in the head. It's been 300 since this happened. Looks like you have stronger backing than I thought. I'll spare your life today. Dujin, now unconscious on the floor, can't hear what the demon is saying. He wonders, but the people in hell, why would they make a deal with a weak, useless guy like you? I've always wanted to meet someone from hell. Honestly, I am sure I am better than him in every way. So if you're watching, please contact me. Scene changed to another desolate area. 2 men get out a large truck. One speaks up. I ask this the place. Are these the customers the Ho Hun gang is dealing with? That's strange. Building a large shelter in a place like this. The other man replies, what's so strange? If they were trading people as slaves, they would build a base near the coast for easy transport. And if they were trading organs, they wouldn't build a place this big and noticeable. After saying that, he turns and asks, so what will they do with the people we transport here? Not wanting to be long-winded, the man walks over and opens the door. Why do you care? We just need to follow orders. He yells at the people in the truck, everyone out. We're busy. Don't make us drag you out. Get out now. All the captured people were gagged and tied up carefully. They trembled in fear as they looked at the shouting man. In the corner of the vehicle, a disheveled woman was slumped over, her face buried in her knees, not moving. Hey, a brutal hand grabbed her head. He pulled her head up and insulted her. Are you deaf? I said, get out, you whore. But the woman did not scream or react. Her eyes were blank and hopeless. At this moment, the man realized she's completely lost her mind. What the hell did they do to her? Seeing the girl's zombie-like appearance, he worried and thought, I was originally a police officer. Scene changes to the past of the man who claimed to be a police officer earlier. A man's voice is heard. Are you this year's valedictorian runner-up? The neatly dressed police officer sat upright. In a chair, he said clearly. Yes, sir. That man continued. Good. Top students attract too much attention. For this job, the runner-up is the perfect choice. For the sake of a nation, the man sitting across from him was Commander Jang Sung-chul. He asked him, do you want tea? Oh, B. A hero? Curious about Sung-chun's question, he asked him again. A hero. That's right. These disappearances have been piling up for years. The Ho-hun gang has ties to foreign criminal organizations. Sang-chun began to explain. Then he gave him the order, you will investigate them. Infiltrate the gang as one of them. Back in the present, the police officer looked at the frail woman he was bullying in front of him, lost in thought. 1 year after going undercover in the Ho-hun gang, Choi Ho-han suddenly declared war on the Taesung gang, and a delivery spot opened up. Thanks to that, I finally witnessed their human trafficking operations firsthand, and I even tracked it all the way here to the headquarters of their high-level partners. As an undercover cop, he had to play his part. He dragged the woman like an animal, cursing at her. You bitch, get out here or I'll kill you. But I feel a little less worried. On the way here, I reported to the commander. Reinforcements will be here any minute, and this nightmare will finally end. Suddenly, one of the gang members screamed, what the hell is going on? You bastards. He cursed, and he kept asking, what are you suddenly doing? We did everything you asked. The other side just said, sorry, but these are the boss orders. The deal with the Ho-hun gang is over. From now on, we're no longer partners. You're a product. The man screamed in fear. Bullshit, a product. The monster did not care. He persuaded the man to give up his life. You know it's useless to resist. Accept your fate. Seeing he was about to be killed, he desperately charged in. You bastard, and slashed at the monster in front of him, but the monster simply dodged it. Then he clenched his fist and punched him straight in the gut. He was punched so hard, his organs were destroyed, and blood gushed from his mouth. The monster looked at him with disdain and ordered, this guy's insides aren't worth anything anymore. Throw him away or give him to a customer who'll take him. As for the rest, turn them all into products. We're making a delivery today. After the monster spoke, the scene cuts to 2 men vomiting into a basin. The police officer recounts what happened after the monster captured them to make them into products. They made us drink something that induced vomiting, then they bathed us. The monster calmly watches those he considers products and asks the person bathing them, how many products are there for the partner? The person reports, 2 premium items. The monster orders then package those 2 as premium items and the rest as regular. They all went out through the door. Observing the criminal's process, the police officer thinks, if they're emptying us out, it must be to take our organs. Doing this to our own people. It's insane, but just a little longer. Backup will be here. He thinks then glances away, looking at the lifeless woman from earlier. Hey, he gently called out to her and apologized. About before, I am sorry, but please hang in there. Don't give up. Perhaps these words are what I am telling myself. Stepping through the door, the officer cannot think anymore. His eyes widened, and his breath seemed to stop. Behind the door were rows of corpses displayed on shelves. How horrible, he exclaimed in his mind. I keep saying it to deny the horror. In an abandoned house, dung, grimaces, and stirs. He groggily opens his eyes, then realizes he is lying in a strange room. Where am I? He looks around. That bastard. He remembers what just happened, then startles at the sound of a woman's voice. Did you sleep well? She says, arms crossed, staring directly at Dudin. Alert, Dudin sat up and asked, who are you? She replied calmly, are you asking me? I am the owner of the tarot bar that just burned down, the one who saved you from the fire. Her voice grew deeper. I am the one who exorcises demons like you. You fool, Dudin, an exorcist. Then she revealed her true identity. Hearing the word exorcist, Dudin gritted his teeth angrily enunciating each word. An exorcist, the guy who came to kill me, said the same thing. What the hell are you people talking about? He shouted furiously. Me a demon. Faced with Dudin's anger, she did not waver. Instead, she threatened him. Silence. I only let you live because I think you might be useful. Dudin felt looked down upon and jumped up, but she continued to speak. I can exterminate you at any time. Furthermore, no human has a body like that. At this moment, Dudin saw his body regenerating and raised his hand to look at it. This is, she began to explain, even if a yokai has all its limbs chopped off and its heart pierced, they can still regenerate as long as their head remains intact. Like a bug, Dudin regained his composure. He believed what the girl said and asked, let me ask you something. What is a yokai? The Taoist took a drag of his cigarette and began to answer Dudin's question. They are entities that steal human bodies, disguised as humans to hide among us. Right now, police officers are facing them. What the? He fearfully witnesses the scene before him just as a criminal raises a long needle and stabs it straight into the back of the man standing in front of him. The man immediately collapses to the ground. His eyes widen. His body convulses. What a waste of his life. The police officer shouts, "You madman, how can you kill someone so blatantly?" But his words are immediately answered. They are not dead yet. I just snapped their necks, leaving them in a vegetative state. They can see, hear, and feel fear, but they can't move. This is our company's specialty. Fresh humans marinated in ripe fear, a product for customers who have trouble hunting themselves. Hearing the answer, he could not believe his ears and turn around to yell, "What the hell are you talking about?" He started warning them, "The police will raid this place any minute now. You'll spend the rest of your lives behind bars." Suddenly, a voice familiar to the police officer appeared. "It smells so good." He froze in shock, calling out to the person, "Commander." He smiled calmly at him. "You've been working very hard, Geo-men. You've infiltrated the whole Hun gang very well." Then he turned to the white-haired man and asked, "So I asked Ji-Min, one of the special dishes you prepared." The man replied, "Yes. Shall I pack it up for you?" "No need, if you don't mind." With that, he loosened his tie and approached Ji-Yomin. The commander said, as he began to undress, "I'll eat here. I am starving," until he was naked. Ji-Min was increasingly shocked. Everything he faced today was like a nightmare. He stammered in disbelief. "Commander, what are you doing?" Responding to Ji-Min's questions was his savage indifference. "I have a meeting in 2 hours, so I don't have time to change. Just stay still." His mouth began to part, open wide. The final commander revealed himself to be a monster watching with satisfaction as Ji-Min froze in place. "Yes, that's it. Such a sweet scent." Ji-Min's fear. Back to Dudin. After hearing the shaman's explanation, he gradually learned about the existence of monsters. "So they infiltrate humans and then eat them." She replied, "That's right. Murder, kidnapping, robbery, assault. Some crimes that happen in the human world are actually caused by evil spirits who want to hunt humans." The shaman grabbed the curtain and tightened it, speaking softly, "Actually, I didn't think it was you. I thought your boss, Gote-sung, was the evil spirit. But it turns out," she pulled back the curtain, "he's just a common villain," revealing Tae-sung lying on the bed, bandaged and barely alive. She looks down at Tae-sung, despising him, a worthless human. Seeing his boss looking half dead, Dujin is stunned. Dujin thinks back to an event that happened. Back then, he and Tae-sung were walking down the street, and Tae-sung suddenly asked Dujin, "Dujin, how long are you going to do this?" Dujin is suspicious of Tae-sung, turns to him and says, "Why are you asking that?" "We promised. We'll get through this together until the end." Tae-sung laughs. "You remember it well. It's been 5 years already. But you don't have to stay with me the whole way, Dujin." Dujin asks, "Why did you suddenly change your mind?" Tae-sung is bewildered by Dujin's question. "What do you mean?" Suddenly, Jue comes up to the two of them. Dudin quickly greets her, "Hello. I am sorry for keeping Dudin so late." Then he confides in Dudin, "I am not someone you should follow to the end. Unlike before, now you have the chance to live as Hong Dudin, not as a demon anymore." Thinking back on what happened, Dudin grits his teeth in anger. "How can I meet him, that white-haired evil spirit?" The shaman asks Dudin, "What are you going to do if you meet him?" Dudin declared with intense hatred, "That monster took the person I cherished most in the world. I will kill him and save." Dudin's determination and obsession with the evil spirit, the shaman relaxed her guard and gave a slight smile. "If you want to fight Kua, you might actually be useful. But you can't win against him." Dudin suddenly started talking in my dream. The fire spoke to me. The girl, not understanding, asked Dudin the fire. His eyes suddenly flared up, filled with resentment. It said that anything with a soul, anything at all, I have to offer it, and in return, it will give me power. Somewhere in the city, people were condemning the demon Dugon sick. A man holding a protest sign shouted, "Only 15 years, that is ridiculous." The 11 victims and their families are crying blood. Then a series of other protesters, extremely angry, spoke up, locked Dugan-sik up in jail. Meanwhile, a reporter began reporting the events on television. The man who repeatedly attacked 11 women in the Seoul area before. Dugan-sik was released from prison a week ago at his registered residence. Protesters demanding his re-imprisonment, and people try to livestream, created a chaotic scene. Outside the house where the condemned monster was, a man's voice provoked him. Dugan-sik, you trash bastard. Come out here. Fight like a man. They were live streaming and offering challenges for donations. Are you scared? You son of a bitch, guys. Once we hit 1,000 viewers, I'm going in. Police be damned. Another one was making a similar challenge to get views. Alright everyone, I will eat 20 bowls of ramen to pray for Dugan-sik death. But the public's protest against him was getting more intense. Put Dugan-sik back in prison. Dugan-sik, you bastard. Come out here. Seeing the crowd getting out of control, the police started blocking people from approaching. The streamers were also blocked from filming, infuriating them. Let me film for a bit. Get out of the way, die, Dugan-sik. Meanwhile, the monster Dugan-sik stood inside looking down at the people condemning him. He muttered irritably, what the hell are they babbling about? It is so noisy. I already served my time and got released, and now I have to obediently wear this damn thing too. You can see his mood is plummeting. He is angrily cursing. Damn it, maybe I shouldn't just keep quiet and endure it. Or should I just kill them all? He glances to the side. Suddenly, Dudin holding a hammer is standing next to him radiating murderous intent. Gunsich is shocked and bewildered asking, who are you? Dudin glares at him, his eyes like bullets. Back to the past where Dudin and the shaman girl were talking. The reason Diodin came to Gunsich was a step to get closer to his wife's kidnapper. That day, the shaman girl heard Dudin's words and asked him, I don't know what demon you saw in your dream, but it said it would give you power if you offered it a sacrifice. Right? Theodin thinks then replies, yes. She takes another drag of her cigarette, then she calmly laid out her plan. Okay, let's make a deal. Dudin wondered a deal. She continued, that's right. I'll give you a list of villains I suspect are demons and you, Hong Dudin, you kill them. If they really are demons, that's even better for me, because I can perform an exorcism. And it's also good for you, because you can gain power. Right? And if they're just ordinary human criminals, eliminating them is good for the world too. After hearing her proposal, Dudin smiled slightly and agreed, okay, I'll do it, but how many suspected demons are there? Will that be enough power for me to kill Kua? The shaman chuckled at Dudin's determination. Don't worry about that. When it comes to villains, there's never shortage. Back in reality, Dudin is in Godun's sixth house, and the demon asks again, who are you? Then he suddenly changes the question, what? Are you human or a demon? Geomin freezes, realizing that the superior he respects is actually a monster. The monster happily inhales Geomin's scent before preparing to eat him. What a sweet smell. Geomin's fear. Geomin looks at the gaping mouth in front of him, looking lifeless, and tremblingly calls the monster's name in pain. Commander. The commander immediately bites his head off. Geomin is screaming desperately inside. Hey, the other monsters do not care. They're just happily watching the customer eating their product. The leader turns to look at his subordinate and says, you must be hungry. Where's the special dish? He replies, it's the woman over there. Ju, a standstill, watching the man who was talking to her just a few minutes ago die a horrible death. Blood splatters all over her. The commander sees her and happily praises, oh, this one looks even more delicious. With that, he rushes to grab her, but Jue does not react, letting him take hold. The monster then says a little sadly, but she's not reacting at all. Has she lost her mind? It's a shame I can't eat her soul. But it doesn't matter. The meat quality looks very high-end. With that, he starts to open his mouth wide again. Just then, after being away from Dujin, Ju spoke with relief. Thank goodness. It won't be long now. And then she slightly opened her mouth. Now I can. Come to you, Eugene, and a desperate smile appeared on her lips. A hand quickly reached out. Commander, I apologize, but I will prepare another special dish for you. The leader stood in front of her, preventing the commander from eating her. I made a slight mistake. This human is not a product. The commander, having his meal interrupted, went crazy and lost control. What are you doing? I was enjoying it. Why are you stopping me? I like this human. I am going to eat her right now, he said firmly. The leader calmly spoke to the commander, trying to appease him. Please calm down. Tomorrow, I will prepare another special dish for you. But the commander refused, impatiently scolding. Tomorrow, I am hungry now. Who do you think allowed you to do business so freely? Don't ignore me. But he did not notice that the face of the one he was scolding was gradually darkening. Insulted by the commander, the leader finally could not stand it and revealed his demonic nature. He grabbed the commander's mouth and squeezed it tight. You useless scarecrow demon. You can't even eat a soul. He threatened him with his eyes, ordering him, calm down, commander. The commander realized he had gone too far, shrinking back in fear. I went too far. I am sorry. The leader threw him aside, and then gave further orders to his subordinate. Gu rang, prepare another special dish for the commander tomorrow. Yes, I understand. The subordinate obeyed, bowing his head. Then he turned to Jua, as for this woman, I will remove her from the product list. He grinned cruelly at her and taunted, looks like your boyfriend is desperately looking for you. It cut to Gunsitch room. Din is looking at his twisted hand. It slowly recovers. Din marvels, this body is so convenient. He remembers what the female Taoist priest said, as long as the head is intact, it can be regenerated. Din, who thinks this is quite simple, saying so, from now on I just need to smash their heads. She looks at Din with a nonchalant smile, adding, you catch on quickly, but you need to remember one more thing when fighting demons. Demons eat humans in two ways. One type is flesh-eating, literally chewing and eating human flesh. The second is soul-eating, sucking souls by exploiting people's fears. Duden asked again, they exploit fear. She replied, that is right, and warned him, demons can absorb the souls of those who fear them. Your soul is still human, so you must not be afraid. Back in the present is grabbing Gunsitch's head, making him scream loudly. Who are you? Are you human or a demon? You, who the hell are you? Why are you doing this? Without a word, Duden just slams a hammer into his face. His face instantly shattered as he fell to the ground. Duden coldly looked at the person he had just killed. He was motionless. Dude then immediately called Dion. He reported, I killed him. He was just a normal human. Dion, unsure, asked Dude then again, did you check if he was dead? He replied confidently, I checked. His head is completely cracked open. But with his experience and high level of vigilance, Dion did not believe him and continued to press Duden. Really, how are you so sure? What makes you think that was his real head? No sooner had he finished speaking than Duden, caught off guard, was kicked in the back of the head. He flew several meters. Gunsitch had woken up and kicked Duden away. Then he crouched and leaped high towards Duden, who was lying on the ground looking at him. With a crash, Gunsitch landed on Duden. Duden, unwilling to give up, raised his hammer. But Gunsitch used his foot to hold Duden's hand down firmly. He said, you're not like the people I've killed. You, is that a Taoist? Then his feet split in two. His face also swelled up and deformed. As he transformed, he complained. An eye appeared, and his clothes gradually tore apart. Tens of thousands of lives, but you always vent your anger on inferiors like me who only eat souls. He looked down on Duden, but it no matter what, you think ill lose to someone like you, against the greenhorn, who can't even tell which is my real head. Finally, he revealed his true form, a terrifying Spider-Man. He sneered, hee, what's this? Are you frozen seeing my true form? Good. I am sick of holding back too. He threatened Duden with savage words. After I tear you to pieces and turn you into a mirror. But as he spoke, Duden immediately stabbed him in the eye. The monster recoiled in pain. Duden calmly raised his hammer again, preparing to beat the monster. You bar too much. Is this real? That head. Then he gave it another strong blow to the face. Gunsitch was stunned by the blow, blood splattering all over his face and his teeth fell out. He quickly regained his composure and charged, screaming, you puny human. How dare you? Duden was not afraid. He was even more eager. He scorned the monster and continued to beat him. I can tell from your movements. You look so fierce and ferocious, but you've never fought a decent fight. The insulted monster went crazy, gritting his teeth. Then he hugged Duden tightly and scolded him. You little bastard, I've got you now. What are you going to do now? What can you do without that hammer? It'll break your back. Duden suddenly tilted his head back to gain momentum. Then he hit Gunsik's head straight with his own. He clenched the hammer in his hand and said, I was curious how strong a monster could be, but all you do is intimidate people and make them waver. You're no different from those street thugs. The monster then clutched its head in fear, its body contorting and trembling. It looked at the madman about to kill it and asked, who are you? Dion once said, monsters can absorb the souls of those who fear them, so you must not be afraid. But Duden just laughed after hearing that, making Dion curious. What are you laughing at? Duden looked at his hand, his voice firm. Not afraid of him. Do you think I'm still scared? Would I be scared of the ones who took everything from me? He then clenched his fist as if to prove his determination to destroy the monsters. Duden threatened the monsters. From now on, I am not the one who should be afraid. It's them, and then wildly slammed the hammer down. Not seeing any movement from Gunsikh, the police had to go check on him. They stood outside the door and called inside, ordering him to surrender. Mr. Gunsitch, we confirm you've removed your tracking bracelet. Open the door now. If you don't open the door, well, be forced to enter, Mr. Gunsikh. They started raising their voices and prying open the door. The police opened the door and went inside, scolding him. Mr. Gunsitch, do you think the tracking device is a toy that you can take off and put on whenever you want? Do you think we won't catch you just because you cut it off? How long has it been since he escaped? But the police immediately froze their eyes wide. What is this? Both of them were terrified by the scene before them. Immediately reported to headquarters, murder. There's been a murder. Cut to a scene at the hospital. News is breaking about Cho Gyensik, who previously shocked the nation with allegations of sexual assault, was found dead at his home just a week after being released. When discovered, Cho Gyensik was already dead with severe wounds to his head and life-threatening injuries to his body. Police have cited the disfiguring wounds all over his body as evidence of a revenge killing and are investigating accordingly. Daeon and Doojin are in the hospital room with Tae-sung silently watching the news report about Jinsik. Suddenly, Doojin speaks up. But I have a question. If he was a demon, why did he even go to jail? Daeon calmly replies, demons can't just reveal their true forms and run wild. If they do, higher-level demons will kill them. Doojin, not understanding, asks again. What do you mean? Daeon begins to explain. I mean, when I said, to demons, humans are a precious limited food source and the higher-level demons monopolize that food source. They want to keep humans from knowing about the existence of demons. The most effective way to manage livestock is to make sure they do not know their livestock. Doojin shuddered as he understood the monster's process. Then he angrily looked at Daeon. So are you saying the guy I killed was just some two-bit nobody? Daeon did not flinch. She simply replied calmly, if you were them, would not you punish those who cause trouble in your territory? We classify monsters into 7 levels, and Shogun Sich is the weakest level 7, a minor monster. You should feel lucky that the first monster you faced was a weak one. Hearing this, Doojin clenched his fist angry. Then find me a worthy opponent next time. To save Dewey, I need to become stronger, even faster. Daeon spoke as she pulled a picture out her pocket. I was planning to anyway, but you better prepare yourself. She handed the picture to Doojin, warning him. Any monster that is strong is beyond human strength. Doojin takes the photo, suspiciously asking Daeon, this person is a monster. Are you sure? Noticing Doojin's changing expression, Daeon indifferently says, not sure. Just a civilian with a high probability of being a monster. Why someone you know? Doojin looks at the photo in confusion. Yeah, I know this person very well. He is the previous boss. Then looks at Tae-sung lying on the hospital bed, the one who led us into the gangster world. Going back many years, Doojin is in a fight with some thugs. Doojin rushes forward and punches his opponent in the left cheek. Another guy takes advantage of his inattention, prepares to attack him with a weapon. Doojin got hit in the head with a stick by that guy. He cursed at Doojin, son of a bitch. Why the hell would you do that, you little punk? All the damage you punks have caused, you ass. He was talking when suddenly a foot came flying towards him. That guy got kicked and flew away completely shocked. Hong Doojin, get up. Tae-sung appeared protecting Doojin and called out his name. If you keep lying there, they'll stomp you to pieces, but he was quickly retaliated against by the thugs. Tae-sung was kicked and fell to the ground. Doojin stood beside him, holding his head in worry. He yelled, boss. Now the enemies of both arrived in greater numbers, all armed. The leader of the group walked forward, hands in his pockets, and sighed. Teach, this is annoying. I have to deal with these little punks. Why are you interfering in adult matters? You're still wet behind the ears, so go to school and study properly. Tae-sung angrily yelled at them, you bastards are forcing orphans to sell drugs. But he did not seem to care, replying nonchalantly, so I am forcing them to sell drugs. What is wrong with making a few kids with no parents handle some narcotics? Doojin angrily cursed this bastard. The thug immediately said, don't worry too much because you guys are the future of the country. I will spare your lives. Then he threatened, but you still need to be punished. You ordered his men, you guys cut their tendons, so they can never defy adults again. Suddenly, voice rang out, using weapons on these kids. Aren't you ashamed? Everyone was startled and turned to look at him. He called out their names. Gu Tae-sung, Hong Doojin, so it's you too. Doojin and Tae-sung froze looking at him, but neither of them knew him. Tae-sung coldly spoke up. Are you a new boss around here? I don't know who you are, but can't you see the situation? You'll get hurt if you don't leave. He ignored him and continued walking forward. Then he took off his jacket and said with a smirk, the older I get, the more I like to meddle in other people's business. What happened? Next confused even the thugs. Hey, what are you doing? What is it? He is provoking us. Come on. Or do you want me to come at you first? Making the thugs go crazy. What is he saying, that crazy bastard? But immediately, one of them gets stabbed in the eye. He screams in pain, clutching his eye, then gets grabbed by the collar. A punch. Then he starts lecturing Doojin and Tae-sung. Listen up, you two. When facing multiple opponents at once, don't look at them as individuals. Suddenly, a guy with a weapon rushes him yelling, you bastard. But he quickly gains the upper hand, grabs the guy's head, and continues his lesson. See them as a single entity, then pick the weakest one and knock him out first. He puts his words into action, punching the guy in the face. Then he continues, like striking at a vital point on the body. When faced with multiple enemies, the key isn't to defeat them all. Finally, he breaks the guy's arm, making him scream in despair. Another guy rushes in. The lesson continues. The key is to humiliate Thyril the fight. He instantly dodges the attack. Then he headbutt his opponent. The others watched frozen in fear. What? That guy. When he was done, he rubbed his arm and proudly finished. An enemy without the will to fight is no longer an enemy, but an obstacle, and use that obstacle to control where the enemy attacks from. The next one charged and threw a punch, but he ducked. Then he grabbed the back of his neck and slammed him into the ground. The guy quickly died. Without much thought, he turned and asked Dudin and Taesong, "Okay, where's the next attack coming from?" Dudin stared blankly at him, thought for a moment and replied the left. Hearing the answer, he happily acted right on the money. Then he punched the next guy. While fighting, he started asking Dudin and Taesong again. Now let us review. When facing multiple enemies, we do not take them all down. But what do? Dudin replied seriously, humiliate their will to fight. The blood-soaked man praised Dudin. You are young, so you learn fast. He picked up a knife from the ground. He went straight to the leader, who instinctively backed away. Wait, the leader was scared, constantly apologizing and begging. We were wrong. Stop. Well, never touch those kids again. Let's stop here. The man stopped, tapped his knife on his shoulder and tilted his head slightly, saying, Really? Then I'll spare your life. The leader was just happy and said, Thank you, when he chopped off one of his ears. He mercilessly glanced at the leader, mimicking what he had just said, but you still need to be punished, so you'll never be able to stand up to adults again. His demonic face immediately disappeared, and instead he looked at Dudin and Taesong and spoke as if nothing had happened. All that exercise has made me hungry. Have you two eaten anything? Let's go. Uncle will buy you something good. Scene change at a restaurant. Dudin respectfully accepts the drink from the person sitting across from him. It's been a while, Chairman. The man sitting with Dudin now is the same man who saved him and Taesong's lives years ago. Chairman, I retired a long time ago. I heard the news about Taesong getting hurt. Dudin replies softly, Yes. He downs a shot of liquor, about to advise, That's why I told you. Being a gangster means. But Dudin interrupts, constantly accumulating karma, and one day you'll have to pay for it. That's why no gangster ever lives long enough to become a legend. Then you also picked up your drink and finished it in one gulp. Dudin continued. But it was not just Boss Taesong. They took my lover too. Those bastards. Dudin then reached into his jacket. He pulled out a knife and placed it on the table. So I am asking you, are you even human, Chairman? The sharp blade reflected his face. Dudin stared grimly at his face, questioning him. Or are you a monster? The two people in the room were talking, and Dion now knew the man in the photo. She said, He's the one who turned you and Gota Sung into gangsters. So to you, he's like a teacher or a father figure. Are you gonna be okay? Dudin ponders, muttering, a teacher or a father figure. I guess you could say that. The one who turned me into a demon is Chairman Ji, a Jongbin. Scene changes to a restaurant. Jongbin brings out food, inviting Dudin and Taesong. Here, you must both be starving. Eat up. Let me know if you need more. Taesong speaks, still suspicious of the man sitting across from him. Thank you for helping us. But why are you helping us? What do you want? Jongbin scoops up a spoonful of food, smiling slightly as he replies, Because I think we are in the same boat. Dudin is skeptical. The same boat. He continues, Just like you, I have nothing. I rotted in prison for 20 years for the organization's benefit. And when I got out, I had nothing left. My gang, my friends, and even my woman. So I thought about gathering people like me who have nothing but are not short on courage and climbing to the top. Dude then thought back to all the time he spent with Jongbin. The chairman taught us so much. How to use our fists, how to use a knife, or how to use our brains, how to kill our enemies. And so we continuously fought under the chairman's orders. In the battle Dudin participated in long ago, he made a name for himself. The opposing gangster was amazed by Dudin's strength. He looked at Dudin in fear, the one who single-handedly destroyed a gang. Dudin realized at some point people started calling me the devil bastard. A devil. That's what people call me. A curse rang out. Damn it. And a man with a knife lunged at Dudin. He grabbed the man's hand and broke it. The man screamed in pain. Immediately after, applause rang out. Jongbin and T. Yi-sun leisurely walked over. Looks like everything's almost done. Dude then respectfully bowed his head. You've arrived. He praised. You all did well. Then asked the main question. Now then, shall we take a look? How's the merchandise? He opened a bag. Inside were a bunch of neatly wrapped packages of drugs. The small amount of product shocked him, and he shouted, What the hell is this? Dongmin, you're not a small-time operation. Are you? Where's the rest of it hidden? The man named Dongmin, clutching his injured arm, glared at Jongbin and panted. You think I would tell you? Even if I did, I would still die. You know what I would do? Jongbin smiled, but his face began to darken. Indeed, very clever. Our rookie from 20 years ago is different. He spoke indirectly, but it was clear he was threatening him. So how about this? How about I take your wife and daughter to a peaceful island? Jongmin, who had been calm, suddenly became frantic, cursing Jongbin. My family has nothing to do with this. You son of a bitch. You try to lay a hand on them. I will. But before he could finish, Jongbin immediately broke Dongmin's index finger, causing Dongmin to cry out. Hey. Jongbin, without a change in expression, mocked him, calling your senior a son of a bitch. That is disrespectful. Eugene could not take it anymore and spoke up. Boss, I have something to say. He turned to look at Eugene. Go on. When I chose to follow you, I never thought I would have to do things like this. I want to quit. I do not want to live like a devil anymore. Jongbin walked over and put his hand on Dujin's shoulder, his words with a clear implication. Dujin, you never thought you would have to do things like this. So you thought the mob was kind, and you have seen it with your own eyes, have not you? How I deal with those traitors. Stop thinking nonsense, and just do the work you were supposed to do like a devil. He did not care about Dujin's feelings, just turned away, leaving Dujin standing there stunned. Tae-sung, who was beside him, finally spoke. His mood as distraught as Dujin's. His voice trembled as he said, Dujin, I want to stop too. Drug dealing, human trafficking, so miserable that we are selling ourselves. I want out. But you know what too, right to get out. There's only one way. As he said this, Tae-sung's eyes became sharper, and Dujin's became gloomier. Back to the present. Jongbin is facing a blade in Dujin's question. Chairman, are you even human? A monster? Hearing Dujin's question, Jongbin laughed in disbelief. What are you suddenly babbling about? A monster. Dujin tried to express his thoughts to clarify things. Just now, when you came in, you weren't limping anymore. Back then, the two of us forced you to retreat, and yet you. Jongbin continued to raise his wineglass, sadly lamenting. That's right. It's been 5 years. I picked up stray dogs on the streets under the sewers, fed them, clothed them, even taught them. And what did they do? They bit the hand that feeds them. Years ago, on the day Dudin and Tae-sung decided to leave Jongbin, Jongbin, covered in blood, looked at Dudin and gasped, but I raised you guys so well. You were just snot-nosed kids back then, and yet you dare stab me in the back. Tae-sung coldly looked down at Jongbin. If you thought this would never happen to you, that's your fault, Chairman. So don't hold a grudge, and he grabbed his head ready to finish him off. But Dudin stopped him. Having been saved by Jongbin, Dudin still could not bring himself to kill him, and he advised Tae-sung, there's no need to kill him. He's the one who saved us before. We just need to make sure he can't fight anymore. Jongbin drank his liquor, reminiscing about the past. Then he criticized, how disappointing, Dujin. Not only did you force me to retreat, now you're mocking me as a monster. How many times have I told you, even 5 years ago? You forgot. Never show mercy to your enemies, Jongbin said, abruptly standing up. He attacked Dujin, then he smiled contentedly. He pressed Dujin's head down on the table, mocking him. Oh, that is more like it. That is the Hong Dujin I know. Dudin, refusing to give in, grabbed his waist tightly. He rushed straight out the door and fell to the first floor. Jongbin was just as stubborn, using his muscles to lock Dudin in place. Then he plunged straight to the ground. He pinned Dudin tightly to the ground. Dudin stubbornly fought back fiercely. He braced his feet and lifted Jongbin clean off the ground. Then use your strength. Smash his head into the ground. Jongbin endures the pain. Dundin punches him in the face, followed by a barrage of punches. Jongbin quickly blocks. He looks at Dundin with regret. What a waste. I raised you so well and then you punch back. Dudin coughed up blood from his nose and let out a. In that moment, Dudin realized his left arm had disappeared. Jean Ben grabbed Dudin's arm, and only then did he confess the truth. When you forced me to retire that year, the flame came to me. They told me to make a pact, offer a sacrifice, and they would grant me power, he continued. They told me to make a pact, offer the sacrifice, and they will grant me power. Finally, Jongbin's true form has appeared, a fearsome demon. Dudin, wary, stealthily pulls out the knife hidden in his ankle. Then he rushes in to attack, but Jongbin anticipates his move, easily dodging it. The spare knife by your ankle. I taught you that too. Jongbin uses Dudin's arm as a weapon, slamming him hard. Dudin is hit hard, collapsing to the ground, spitting out blood. Before he can readjust, Jongbin kicks Dudin straight in the face. He reminds Dudin, then kicks him flying into the air. But it seems you've forgotten. I always told you when facing a stronger opponent, do not try to win, he said, getting into a fighting stance, then channeling his power into a straight punch to Dujin's stomach. Dujin took a direct hit. He was sent flying into the wall, the punch so powerful it shattered it, which is when Jongbin finished his sentence. Focus on surviving first. How foolish. Jongbin's eyes lit up. He saw Dujin's body gradually recovering. Jongbin was surprised. What is this? Dujin, I did not expect you were not human either. Scene change at TRAITREMOCOIGO sim. A child is crying loudly. Hearing the crying, The teacher immediately runs over to ask, "What is wrong?" "Sung Min, why are you crying when you were sleeping?" The boy says while sobbing, "I dreamed of a monster." Hick. The teacher hugs the boy, comforting and reassuring him. "Oh dear, I understand. My good Sung, it is okay. I will go into your dream and beat that monster up for you." The boy, now less tearful, asks, "Really?" The teacher continues to reassure him. "Of course, Sung Min, you know your teacher is very strong, right? I will protect you from the monsters. So go back to sleep, okay?" Suddenly, a woman's voice appears. "But will you be okay?" Dinan arrives in the night, worried, saying, "The monster is making Hong Dujin fight much harder than expected. He could actually die." The teacher says, standing up, "If that happens, there's nothing we can do. We can just find another child." She turns to look at Dinan and continues, "A monster who makes a pact with a human is at least a second-class monster, an upper-class monster. But among upper-class monsters, there's a huge difference in power. It is like comparing a wild cat to a tiger. This is an opportunity to assess the level of the monster that Eugene made a pact with. We do not have time to save all the wild beasts." Back to the battle between the two monsters. Dujin is constantly attacking Jiangbin, but Jiangbin is unfazed, calmly chatting with Dujin. "Dujin, it seems you're like me. Neither human nor monster, but a fake pact." Dujin does not understand, and asks, "A fake pact?" Jiangbin kicked Dujin away. "So you really did not know? You always act so rashly without thinking." Jiangbin is starting to explain. "Demons do not actually live in the human realm. They are in hell. But they came to the human realm through a crack in hell just to eat human flesh. They abandon their physical bodies and come here as spirits. Lesser demons can enter the bodies of any human, but greater demons can only possess certain humans through a pact with someone who can withstand its spirit, and that pact requires offering sacrifices in exchange for power. So the power of a false covenant depends on." At this point, Jiangbin paused and continued his attack. He punched past Dudin's ear. Dudin quickly took the opportunity to punch back. His eyes were like sharp blades staring straight at the enemy, but the attack was caught by Jiangbin, who then finished his sentence. "The amount of offerings they give." Jiangbin continued to shout, and then punched Diodin. "I have already abandoned my humanity." The punch made Dudin's head go numb. He collapsed. A cluster of tentacles gathered in his palm. Jiangbin arrogantly said to Dudin, "I have turned over 600 people as offerings. You can't defeat me." Meanwhile, at the director's office, the director, while making Dinhon a drink, reminisced, "Dinhon really like putting chocolate powder in her milk, but we are all out. Would you like some polygonatum tea or green tea instead, Di?" Inichoin softly called out teacher. So far, Hong Dojin has only offered one human and one yokai as offerings, but Kang Jiangbin has almost completely turned into a yokai. Even if Dujin is a tiger, if he is still a cub, he might be killed. The teacher took a sip of tea. "That is right, but I do not think Kang Jianbin will actually kill Dujin. He would have done already. From a moment, he started making that pact, and sending Dujin to Kang Jianbin was not for him to win. Like I said, it is to see if he's a tiger or a cat." Dinan is startled, and looks at the teacher. "What do you mean?" The dean seems to know something. She smiles. "Dujin has not received anything yet. The reward for the offering he made. Dugani's severed arm has now been replaced with another arm." Jianbin notices the change, excited. "Did you take the arm of a monster to replace your severed left arm? How interesting. Dujin, you really are special." Dujin clenches his fist, then he strikes. Jiangbi blocks it, but it is no use. He is punched a long way back. Duo Din runs up like a monster. He punches straight at Jiangbin again, but he quickly dodges. Jiangbin also clenches his fist, then punches Duo Din back. Jiangbin laughs with pleasure. Both sides continue to fight. His eyes quickly scan the area. Dudin gathers his strength and punches him again. Jiangbin also kicks Dudin in the stomach. Jiangbin looks at Dudin happily. "So your left hand is the same as mine. But what about your right hand?" Jiangbin raises his sharp claws and stabs at Dudin's right side. Dudin does not dodge. He charges straight into Jiangbin's stab, his left hand also ready to retaliate. Jiangbin is surprised. "What? You're not dodging anymore, and you are attacking." Jiangbin scolds Dudin, "You idiot, if it not held back just now, your head would have been crushed. If you keep rushing at me, like you want to commit suicide." Suddenly a vortex appears in Jiangbin's hand. Dudin does not care and continues to charge. At that moment, Jiangbin fires a sharp arrow that pierces through Dudin's chest. Then he finishes his sentence, "Then I won't play with you anymore." Dudin is pinned to the wall. Jiangbin formed another weapon in his left hand. "I am sorry, but battles between monsters are not just ordinary brawls. They use magic too. Even if you possess a monster arm, if you do not know any magic, you're still just a kid." He raised his sword high, the light making it look even more terrifying. Dudin glared at Jiangbin. He also stared straight into his eyes. Suddenly, images from the past flooded back. Jiangbin's hand loosened. He chuckled, "Hee hee. Well, today is not the final battle. Stop here and change back in a human form. I am old, so I tire easily. Duden stares blankly at John Bin and asks, "What are you doing?" John Bin replies, "You fool. Didn't you spare me 5 years ago? So I will spare your life this once." Not accepting the outcome, Dudin shouts, "Have you forgotten that we cut your tendons back then?" But Jong Bin is soft-hearted towards his former student. He does not turn back and just keeps walking. "Looks like you always forget the lessons I taught you. Becoming a gangster is accumulating karma forever, and one day, the karma will be repaid to you. If you keep worrying about every petty grudge, you can't survive in this world." "Oh, right? You're looking for a girl or not you. Be careful. When you stand before her, you might become someone she does not even recognize anymore, like me."